back to him in Spanish. Daniel had moved to the city from Peru a few years ago, and now Casey could speak Spanish almost as well as her Spanish teacher, or so she claimed. When Lou got to high school, she was going to take Spanish too. Then she and Casey could have private conversations when Mom and Steve were being nosy. Steve still there when Lou got to high school. That was difficult to wrap her mind around. But Mom really was going to marry him, and they really were moving. "Lulu," Casey said, "can you, She waved Lou away with one hand. Lou let the blanket fall, then jumped down and went back out to the living room. Mom was helping Steve now, looking at the stacks and checking things off a paper she'd been carrying in her hand all day. Did she even know her special album was headed to Garage? "She's still on the phone with Daniel," Steve asked Lou. "I don't know." She wouldn't be his spy. When Mom had told Lou and Casey that Steve wanted to adopt them, after the wedding, of course, Lou's stomach had churned. How could Mom tell them something like that while spooning out mac and cheese the same way she would if she was telling them about her day at work? "Adoption is for orphans," Lou had said. "Kids without parents, like in some of her favorite books, Anne of Green Gables, The Silver Crown, Orphan Island." Lou and Casey had parents. They had 2 parents and their dad's last name. They also had their own apartment, and schools, and teachers they liked. Lou had a best friend, Beth, and also a group of friends who did things together, like trick-or-treating, who always invited one another to birthday parties, who knew Lou was scared of ladybugs and spiders, but not moths, who knew she was the best in their class at reading aloud, who didn't care that she usually had dirt under her fingernails and went to church every Sunday. Casey, too, had friends, and a boyfriend, and summer jobs. "Actually," Mom had said, "adoption isn't only for orphans." "Mom, don't." That was Casey. And when Casey said those words, they had the power to stop Mom right in her tracks. It didn't work when Lou tried it. Anyway, the point was that their lives had been their lives. Dad had left over 2 years ago now, and Mom and Lou and Casey were finally getting used to life without him in the apartment. No more walking on eggshells. No more peeking around corners, trying not to walk through a room where Dad might be drunk. No more guessing when he'd get home and what he'd be like when he did. No more wondering how long he'd be able to keep his job this time, or if he'd remember things like your birthday or your baptism, or if it was a Saturday or a Tuesday. He didn't live with them anymore, and he still drank, but also he was still Dad. She didn't need a new one, she just wanted the one she had to be different. Now they had to change everything, including houses, towns, friends, and then also schools next year. It was February, in the fall. Lou would have to start 6th grade in a totally new place with all new people, and Casey would start 11th grade the same way. Steve already had furniture and dishes and everything a house needed, which was why so many boxes were marked Garage. "Until we decide what to do with it," he'd said. We. Who was the we he was talking about? Before Steve, we was Lou and Casey and Mom. Even before the divorce, that was true. We hadn't included Dad for a long time. Now it seemed like we was Steve and Mom, while Lou and Casey had suddenly become a separate us. And Casey didn't even much seem to want to be part of it anymore. "She's on the phone with him all the time," Steve said now, still annoyed about Daniel. He finished writing on a box with his special black marker and turned to Mom. "Maybe we should set..."